They're expected to win by their home crowd, a team full of Champions League stars, but only the veteran Miroslav Klose up front. What's going on here?
Well, they're going to play a similar system that Spain have done. They played in the Euros and they won the Euros in that system. But it's quite a bold statement from Joachim Löw. He's got Goetze, he's got Ozil, he's got Schweinsteiger. But if you are going to play that system, you need a good midfield. And that's not a bad midfield.
They've got 8 midfielders that are pretty
Tony
good.
Kroos, these are all good. These are all quality players. They are Europe's best hope of winning this World Cup. There's no shadow of doubt there. They start off in a very tough game against Portugal, and I think that is obviously the big game of the group. And I wouldn't be surprised to see honours even there. And then it comes down to who wins against the other two even more. But we spoke about cliches that they are the side that always deliver on the world stage. I mean, they'll never slip up in a group stage, not like Italy or a France. They are consistency all the way through. They're going to get through, so they're going to make a semi-final, quarter-finals. They always do, and they get better as tournaments go on. The only thing is that they should have won the European Championship, in my opinion, and the way they let themselves down against Italy, I think that's going to help their long-term aspirations here. But as far as this group is concerned, I don't think it helps them really to be playing Portugal first. I think they'd much rather play them later within their stride. So I think they'll go through, but I'm not necessarily sure if they go through as group winners.
Okay. Well, Portugal themselves, they struggle to qualify, but of course they have a certain Cristiano Ronaldo. Is he enough at least to get out of the group?
Well, if you take him out of the team, how good are this Portugal side? If you took him out of the side, are they as good as Ghana? I mean, I think Ghana are probably a similar side without Ronaldo, but he is. Everyone's talking about Messi, and this is his chance to shine. Well, it's Ronaldo's chance to shine. He's done it single-handedly for Portugal over the years. He got them here through the playoffs. He was absolutely exceptional in that game against Sweden when he went head-to-head against Ibrahimovic and showed he was the real deal. He comes in as the world's top player. The pressure's on him, and I think he can deliver it. He's been absolutely unbelievable for Real Madrid this season. I mean, the plaudits and the records he's broken has just been phenomenal. That confidence is going to be huge, but he's going to be a marked man. And when he plays the Ghanaians, he's going to be very, very well looked after. Not very well looked after. The better way for me for Portugal's aspirations, if Portugal do well, Ronaldo does well. So instead of backing Portugal to win the World Cup or win the group, you may have might be wise to have a few quid at 33 to 1 on Ronaldo to be the top goal scorer in the World Cup. Because if Portugal go through, they're going to go through on Ronaldo's goals. I don't think they can win the competition. I think they'll get through, but I just don't really think they can go that further than the next stage. But without Ronaldo, how good are they? And they're not very good without him.
Okay, we spoke about Ghana. I mean, they won the hearts of many last time until Luis Suarez gave them a helping hand out of the tournament. Are they much of a threat? You've been not very encouraging about the African nations.
Well, this is the only one I actually think will do all right. I think Ghana will do okay. I think they got Gyan up front, who the ex-Sunderland centre forward, whose record this season, he's playing in Qatari League. I know it's not the greatest league in the world, but he's got something like 65 goals. He's absolutely on fire. They're a very, very physically strong side. I think they'll be okay with the conditions. And at 12 to 1, I wouldn't rule out a couple of quid on them to win it at this group. And there's always a shock tournament. And I think Germany and Portugal will be looking at each other thinking, well, we get a cagey draw and take their eye off the ball a little bit here. I saw 5 to 1 Ghana to qualify, which I think was probably a better bet than to win the group. But I can see either one. I think more likely to be Portugal than Germany, because if Ronaldo gets injured or he has, he comes into the season with lots of injury concerns. Yeah. If he gets injured, I think Ghana will be the ones who capitalise on it. And I think on the group for the value, I like Ghana to qualify at 5 to 1.
Okay, and finally, the USA, without talisman Landon Donovan, who didn't make the squad. But what a story if Jurgen Klinsmann can upset the homeland.
I don't think he can. I think Jurgen Klinsmann's looking for another challenge after this.
He needs a Robert Green moment.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I think the Americans did well at the last World Cup, and everyone said, again, they're a sort of side that will be challenging in a few years to come, but I think they've been very disappointed in the build-up to this campaign. Their qualification group is so easy that it doesn't matter who they play, they should get through every year, very similar to like Mexico. But this is a tough group, a very, very tough group, and they haven't been handing any favours whatsoever. The opener against Ghana is going to be the key for them, but I think they'll get beat there quite convincingly. But if the Germany-Portugal game is a draw and Ghana win, they're in the box seat from day one. And my best bet here is Ghana to qualify. I mean, the USA, they may shock someone, but I think they're a very poor set of players this time around.
So you're saying Germany and Ghana?
I think the best bet is Ghana to qualify. I would maybe have a few quid on Ghana to win the group, But I think Germany will definitely qualify, and I think at the expense of Portugal.
OK, finally then, Group H, not one of the television ratings having too many people jumping for joy perhaps, but a host of Premier League stars should make Belgium's matches quite interesting. Are they the real outside threat that people think they are?
Well, they're not the outsiders. This is one another. This is the way everyone's falling into a silly trap, because they were 150 to 1 outsiders a year ago. They're now going into this tournament short as 14 to 1 fifth favourites. So that's ludicrous. That's ludicrous.
Do they gel as a team though?
Well, they're young and they're exciting, but they're not in form. I don't think these players are coming to World Cup. Fellaini's in no form. I mean, Company didn't have a very good season for Man City. I mean, he did all right towards a lot at the end of it, but his form was nowhere near as solid as he was the year before. Hazard has fallen out of love with Chelsea. So it's not this team of players, I think, are as exceptional as everybody else says. Lukaku is probably the in-form striker.
Well, he's got a point to prove as well.
He's got a point. He's in the shop window.
Yeah.
Scored a hat-trick in the warm-up game the other day. But at 5 to 6 to win this group, I think they're one of the best lays of the competition. And if you're foolish enough to bat these boys at 14 to 1, you need your head examining. They're a much better bet for me to win the Euros in 2 years' time. That's when I think they'll be stronger, and I think England will be stronger than them as well. But Belgium going into this tournament as fifth favourites, when you get to the nitty-gritty of the knockout stages, they're too raw.
OK, well, let's talk about the opposition then. After failing with England, Fabio Capello's got another bash at it with Russia, and he's inherited Gus Hiddink's side and crafted them into a pretty well-knit, disciplined unit.
Very hard to beat.
Yeah.
Don't concede many goals. Very organised. I think on the European campaign, they kept the meanest defence. Capello is a wily old fox, and he knows what he's doing. I mean, it didn't really work out for England, but he had moments where we looked really, really good. But his style of play makes us very difficult to beat. And I think that will help. And I think they're going to frustrate the young Belgian side. Belgium will have a lot of possession, but can they break them Russians down? I like Russia here to win the group. I really do. I think Belgium are a fantastic lay. A very, very, to me, very set of, OK, 1 or 2 stars, but an average sort of thing. But in the Russian side, they were disappointed in the Euros. They started off like a house on fire, and then they fell away very, very poorly. They need a big showing, obviously, because they're going to host the World Cup next time around. They need a good showing here. I think they will get the showing, and the fact that they're so strong at the back, that's their strength. They don't score many goals. If you back Russian games to win 1-0 pretty much every one, you won't go far wrong. And I think on the 2 prices, I think Russia to win the group are the best bet.
OK, and another team with a Gus Hiddink history, South Korea. Decent technical side. They're certainly surprised in 2002, but they've perhaps gone backwards since then. Very
far backwards. I mean, if you look at world football, their demise has been quite staggering over the last few years. Okay, they've a lot of qualification games, a lot of travelling. They're one to oppose. They're only being priced up at 8 to 1 on the reputation of the team that got through to the semi-finals of the World Cup before. Very, very average. No way. This is a 2-runner race, this group, between the top 2. And when it's a 2-runner race, I make it a 50-50 chance. You can get nowhere near 50-50 on Russia. Korea and Algeria are just here to make the numbers.
Algeria, as you finally, but some are suggesting not the whipping boys that one might suggest.
Well, they did all right. They frustrated England, and that's going to be. I wouldn't want to be in the ballot and get the tickets for Algeria v Russia. I don't think that's going to be a very entertaining game. I think you want to be unders on that game. But they're frustrating sort of side. They'll be diving around and looking for every challenge. The conditions won't worry the Algerians. They'll be ready for that. But I just think the opening game against Belgium is going to be the key one for me. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Algeria get something from that game. The amount of games in the opening games of World Cups where underdogs get something, either a shot win or a draw, doesn't go before them the first game. And I think if they can get something there, they'll have momentum going forward. But the main story for this group, for me, is this belief that Belgium are suddenly going to be the team, the heart of this fourth team, and they're being rated the 5th favourites for this world competition. Come on, get real. I mean, the England team is better than Belgium.
So who's going to get through out of the group? Russia and
I'm going to go Russia and Belgium, but I think it's such a poor group. But I think Russia will win it because they're so mean at the back. They won't hardly concede any goals, and I think naivety in major competitions is going to be Belgium's downfall. OK, Nigel, thank you very much. That is it for our World Cup previews. My thanks to Nigel Seeley. Do check out all the other groups available on demand and regular updates as the tournament progresses. I'm Nigel Stevenson. This is Reuters.